I was really happy that we finally got a chance to play a real game. We've been practicing for a really long time against each other, and we've had some scrimmages and exhibitions, but there's nothing like playing a real game. So it was great to see this year's team out there, and I thought we really set the tone the way we were able to press and force turnovers. And obviously, Mila did a tremendous job of distributing the basketball, but also really did a great job of scoring. Ashley had her 1,000th career point tonight. She really gave us a great post presence inside, which was great. But there was a great balance attack by everyone on our team. Brookie was phenomenal in 6 assists and 8 steals on the night. So just a real balance attack.
Could you talk a little bit about your offensive game plan going into the game today?
I just think we have the ability to score. We have multiple people that can impact the game from the scoring end. So we were able to make extra passes and have 23 assists and find the right people and share the basketball, and that's why I think we were able to score the way we were.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Ashley, were you aware that you scored 1,000 points? That happened?
Yeah, my last game of my sophomore year, I knew I had been 2 points short or one basket short. So going into this game, I knew my first basket was going to be 1,000. I think Mila assisted it right when the game started. So that was pretty awesome just to start off the game that way and kind of go into the rest of the game with a positive attitude.
For sure. Mila, what would you say? You were on this team last year. What would you say is the biggest difference from last year's team to this year's team?
Um, I would say just everyone's willingness to buy into their role. I mean, we did a good job of that last year, but I'd say it's happening more quickly this year. Everyone's kind of, yeah, buying into their role.
And then, Mila, you had 7 steals today. What was on the game plan? What were you looking at, and like what were you thinking about, especially to start the game?
That's something I've been trying to get better at for a while now, just trying to take steps in the right direction every day. So just keep building on that.
Yeah, Milo, what do you think about your aggressiveness tonight, specifically on really just on both ends? I mean, getting steals, but also using that to push the pace and get to the rim and create or get free throws. What do you think overall on your aggressiveness?
I'd say I found a good balance today of sharing the ball and creating my own, as you said. I have a lot of good teammates on the floor. It kind of spaces it out for me. We got a lot of other people to worry about other than me. So, yeah.
Ashley, could you talk a little bit about like the inside presence today and obviously your role in that?
Yeah, I think me personally, just being able to post up and like we've been working on so much, just like feeding the ball into the post and finishing around the rim, and then being able to see my other teammates like Ali Van Timmerman and Sierra Byers get in there and being able to score. That was like just a great feeling that all we've been working towards this past week like really paid off.
And coach, could you talk a little bit about?
Sorry, do you have any other questions for the
sorry.
student? That's okay for the student athletes because I'll let them.
One more.
Hey, go ahead, Nate.
For both of you guys mixed up the lineups a lot. What did you like playing with different teammates at different parts of the game?
It was great. Like I said, everyone's buying into their role. Do a great job in practices. Great job in practice, rotating through. So I mean, we get a chance to play with everyone, get used to what everyone does, their strengths and weaknesses. So knowing where to put everybody on the floor.
Yeah, I think it just kind of gives you a different perspective in how you play, and like having different teammates on the floor who you can do different things really just contributes to our offensive presence and kind of confusing the defense on like which ways they can guard us and which ways they can't. So.
Yeah.
How did defense feel compared to last year, especially with the freshmen and the
I say we're picking up more aggressive this year. We have a lot of people who can pick up full this year. We didn't really have that last year. It was kind of the same rotation of 3 people. So just getting people involved in different stuff.
You know, you guys had 70 points in the paint tonight. You know, you got the size from Ashley, Allie, Kendall's coming on your way. How is that size going to help you guys in the big time matchups you got against Notre Dame and UConn coming up later this month?
Yeah, I mean, I think our schedule is a bear, and we're really going to be tested with size, with strength, with athleticism. I watched some of those games that were on earlier today, and just people's ability to really rebound the basketball will be tested with our schedule. And I think, obviously someone like Ashley and someone like Allie and like you mentioned, Kendall and even Sierra Byers kind of gives us a. Yeah, Tayala a little bit too. I think it all gives us, an opportunity to compete with some of that size and from a rebounder perspective, really be able to hold our own. And that's something that we didn't really play much with last year. So it's kind of nice to have a little bit of that now.
Kendall's supposed to be good to go for all those games next week.
I hope so. I hope so. Yes. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Could you talk a little bit about like Siler's role in the team tonight, especially on the defensive end, please?
Yeah, I mean, I think, a lot of times people don't really recognize what Sila does, and on most nights, she's the best player in the gym, and even just looking at, the plus minus on this sheet, she's plus 47, I think, and that's the highest plus minus, and she didn't even have a great scoring night. So the impact that she makes on the game for us is absolutely incredible, and it doesn't always show up in the box score, but she's just a true difference maker. She's one of the best players in the country, and she plays both ends. She's a two-way player. She defends as hard as she plays offense, and she's a connector of people. She's always trying to make the extra pass. She's always trying to make the right play, but she just impacts the game in so many ways. It's incredible.
A lot of times in this game compared to last year, it seemed like Mila was like looking to push and looking to throw the ball up court. Was that just based on the opponent you were playing, or is that an emphasis this season to kind of try to push the pace and let her kind of be the maestro?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I think sometimes we forget that those guys were freshmen last year and they were coming from high school and they were learning everything. And we always want to advance the ball and always want to push the ball, but sometimes it depends on matchups, sometimes it depends on experience, and sometimes it depends on comfort level. And I think all those three freshmen that are now sophomores are definitely becoming more comfortable having that year under their belt and playing with a lot more confidence. And I think, to see that from Mila is great. I mean, she was on the verge of a triple double tonight, which was awesome. Yeah.
And then back to Sally really quick. You talked a little bit about her leadership. Can you talk about what she does even off ball, directing traffic, and then leadership on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, I just think she's like the total package. She is, the director of everything out on the floor. She just sees things at a level that most of the other players don't see yet. It's something that we talk about in practice and something that we work on. She just has a tremendous feel for the game. She's played with women in the Olympics, played on international stage, and she just has an incredible feel, and she's a director out there. She sees things before they're happening. She ties up a lot of balls. Her hands are on a lot of balls. She gets on the ground. She's not afraid to get dirty. I mean, you have you're arguably one of your best players that's just living on the ground, mixing it up, willing to do the dirty work, has that grit and has that toughness. So I think you see it with Sila on both ends, and her leadership is becoming more and more. She's gaining confidence in that space, and she's still a young player as a sophomore. To be the leader of this team is a lot, and I think she's trying to navigate that space, but really buying into that as well.
You touched on this a little bit, but with the defensive intensity resulting in the amount of turnovers it did, are you able to use those turnovers to create opportunities in transition? And was that kind of a part of the game plan for today, or is it something that you tell them just when you get the ball, turnovers, really like to push?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, your defense creates your offense, and if we could use those turnovers to create easy buckets, it definitely helps. And, fast break under here, it says 36 points, and points off of turnovers 53. So, we pushed on a lot of those probably, and I think those are easy buckets for us and easy opportunities when you can force a turnover to get out in transition. Those are some of the best. So we always talk about, can your defense create your offense, so you don't always have to play in the half court. And fortunately, tonight we were able to do that. Now against some other teams coming up, we might not be able to do that as much. So we got to get better in the half court, both defensive and offensively.
Can you talk about the increase in physicality in defense across the whole roster tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's something that we're really emphasizing is the ability to play defense. And I think, you guys asked a question compared to last year. especially on the defensive end. I think the versatility and the ability to go deeper allows us to really get up and press. And Mila said, last year we would only have 3 people, but we didn't really go deep into the roster either. So now we have an opportunity to go 5 or 6 deep in the roster, which can rest those starters, and then they can come out and bring that type of energy again. So I think that's another thing that's really contributing to us being able to press at that level for a longer period of time.
Kind of going back on the topic of defensive pressure, even as the league grew throughout the game, specifically in the fourth quarter, kind of whoever you threw out there was still able to generate those turnovers and create those opportunities with those fast break points. How important is it for you and your team to play from start to finish the way you guys want to, and what does it give you from like a comfort level, just knowing that late in the game, whoever you toss on the floor will have those opportunities and will play creating those turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, as a coach, sometimes you're up, and that could be going to your younger players on the bench, or that can be just, a lack of focus. Sometimes teams aren't able to finish out games the way that they started games. And you said this, I was really happy with the way that our fourth quarter play went, because sometimes you take your foot off the gas, and that can be for a number of different reasons. But I thought that the energy that the people on the floor brought in the fourth quarter was phenomenal. And there were 2 freshmen in Jessica Fields and Sierra Byers that were out there during that time, and they were 2 of them that were contributing to diving on the floor or blocking shots or trying to take charges. And the rest of the crew that was out there with them were sophomores. So, and Macy Brown might have been the only upperclassman as a junior. So it's really great that you could go that deep into your bench and not lose any of that intensity.
Oh, I thought you had.
I
Yeah,
didn't have a
Kellen.
question. I was saying I'm good.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry,
okay.
Nate
That was
wanted
the
to
good
be there.
thumbs up.
Sorry, my bad.
Can you talk about the burst that Tayala brings off the bench and her energy in the game?
Yeah, I mean, Tay is just different. She can do things that I don't think there are very many people in the world that can do. And she's, every time I watch her, I feel like I'm watching like a highlight reel of someone, because she can get to the basket in one dribble from like the half court line. Her first possession, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yeah. So she is a phenomenal spark for us. Her length is so disruptive on the defensive end. Her ability to rebound, her bounce, just the total package. She's just a incredible player and gave us a real great burst today as well. Thank you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.